And of course, one will never know it unless one puts oneself in the way of doing so, which means opening oneself to it. So it's no good waiting for it to come and knock on your door. You have to not sort of, you have to do what I call active receptivity. So you have to attend in a manner that will allow something to come into being in the space that you have opened by your receptive attention. I believe this is how artists are able to conceive their works of art, and I believe it's how we get to understand the existence of the sacred. I think it's what is meant by prayer, probably, this attention, this open attention in which one's not talking to or about God, but actually listening. I think this is a very important thing. Attention is at the core of it, and I know you yourself think attention is very important. I call attention a moral act because the kind of attention we pay changes the world. It changes what is there to find, and it also changes us in the process of attending. And I think here of two French philosophers of the last century, one very well known, Simone Weil, who said that attention is, to pay attention is the greatest act of generosity, and that it mediates our ability to understand what comes to us through prayer. And Louis Lavelle saying that love is a pure attention to the existence of the other. I think this is brilliant and important, and so paying that attention is necessary. How to do that? What I'm hoping is that after reading what I have to say, people will feel that experience. And I'm emboldened to say this by the fact simply that people keep writing to me and saying, since reading your work, I can't not see the world in a certain way. It's changed my sense of my life, it's changed my relationships, it's changed my work, and now I see everything through this different lens. So if somebody says, well, can you hand me the lens? I say, yes, it's out there.
Yeah, and I think that what you're saying is the idea of attention is a very simple and perfect way to help people understand, because like you said, you can explain it for a certain amount of time, but then everybody knows what it means to pay attention to at least a certain extent. But if you start to practice it, and you can see the difference, especially if you have a family, if you have kids, you pay attention to your kids, like real attention.
Yes.
That it's transformational. And then they don't, people say you need to spend time with the kids. Like, no, you can pay attention to your child for 15 minutes and they will go on their way and play alone. They'll be happy because they will have gotten that connection that they're looking for.
It's a kind of magic. It bestows something on whatever one is attending to. It brings it to life. And the trouble is that one's attention is valuable to capitalism. Everybody wants a grab of your attention to buy their thing. But this is to reduce one of the greatest things that exists to desecrate it, to trail it through the mud and say, no, it's just about listening to what I've got to say, what you've got to say, this jingle, this message from your machine. The way to achieve it is to switch all that off and empty your life out. I'm not saying certainly that I've got anything, to model. I'm not very good at any of this.